to lodge an appeal to try and overturn the results of the presidential election, which it alleges was rigged to ensure victory for Emmerson Mnangagwa. For more on that story, let's go live to our reporter Peter Ndoro, who is joined by reporter Mbali Thetani. Peter, a very good afternoon to you. Look, what do you speculate will be the outcome of the ruling based on all the facts that are currently out in the public domain? And you were also in Zimbabwe. You saw what was happening. The MDC is very adamant that it has some concrete evidence for a watertight case. And I was just speaking to an analyst a short while ago who believes that there is indeed many inconsistencies in terms of the electoral processes that were conducted in Zimbabwe.
Alicia, thanks very much indeed. Yeah, the sun is setting here in Harare and we're standing outside the Constitutional Court where a short while ago the MDC Alliance lodged their papers at the Constitutional Court, and what the situation is now is that the respondents have 3 days to reply to the papers that have been lodged, which effectively means that the inauguration is not happening this Sunday. But I've got Mbali Thetani, who's with me right now, to tell us a little bit about the interaction that she had with the MDC Alliance a short while ago. So for some, it's pretty dramatic what's happened in the Constitutional Court a short while ago. The inauguration is not happening. What did the MDC say to you?
Well, Peter, you must know that we immediately came here straight after the airport. And of course, this is one story that we are following, of course, coming from being here for 2 weeks. This is quite a revolutionary story that's actually happening in this specific country. I mean, just speaking to the legal representative from the MDC, we had a chat with Tabani Mbofu, and he says that filed in their papers this afternoon here in the Constitutional Court is, of course, something that they're disputing. It is the numbers. They're saying that they want to go back and recount those numbers and saying that it does not make sense how the electoral system got to where it got with the specific numbers. And of course, Peter, one thing, of course, that they're also disputing is, of course, the presidential results and, of course, the parliamentary results. They have now filed these papers. They tried to file the papers to the office of the president. Of course, he did not allow them to come in. Those papers have now been taken to the court, where the court will now be filing those papers to the president's office.
All right. So how long might this process take? Because the respondents have been given 3 days to respond, but the Constitutional Court itself has to make a decision as well.
Well, right now, it's not yet clear how long the entire process will take. We do know that they've also asked for the advice of some of the South African lawyers. We do know that Toby has been asked to come here, as well as Advocate Dalumbofu. So we are waiting for that process to unfold. We'll see how long that takes. They're also not yet clear as to how long that process will take. But they are saying that Tabani Mbofu, who is the legal representative for the MDC, says that they are very confident that the Constitutional Court will be willing to hear their case. And like you say, the chances of us seeing this inauguration taking place are very slim right now.
All right. So they're saying that it's not just the numbers for the presidential election, but the National Assembly as well, which ZANU-PF won 68%, and they're bringing all of that into question.
Of course, Peter. So like I say, that it's something that's going to take quite some time for them to resolve, because it's not as easy as you say it is. Something that they also said is that they are even willing to go back to the ballots. They are willing to take forward another electoral process where Zimbabweans will have to go back from scratch and re-vote. So we don't know if the court will be willing to hear that right now. But yeah, let's just wait for the next couple of days and see how it pans out.
Did they give you any clues as to what they lodged in those papers specifically?
Specifically, they're saying that basically it's the numbers right now. It is quite of a thick, grueling couple of papers to go through. That's something that we are hoping to also go in through this evening. So right now it is the numbers, saying that it does not make sense. And of course, they are contesting parliamentary and they're also contesting the presidential numbers.
All right, Mbali Thetani, thanks very much indeed. Okay, so that's Mbali Thetani. She was speaking to the MDC Alliance a short while ago, their legal representative. So the story is, this chapter is not yet quite clear about what's going to happen next. What was supposed to happen was the inauguration to happen on Sunday, but the MDC Alliance lodged papers at the Constitutional Court. The court has given respondents 3 days, and technically what that does mean is that the inauguration can't happen. We believe that it could take 14 days or even longer for the Constitutional Court to come back with a decision with regards to how they're going to handle this matter. But the President, we await to hear, the President-elect, we await to hear his response to what's happened today. And this, as I said, is a developing story, but we'll keep on top of it for you, and we'll give you further updates during the course of this evening. Back to you in the meantime.
Thank you so much to Peter Ndoro. They are reporter alongside Mbali Thetani. And of course, they were just giving us those news just in that Sunday's inauguration of Zimbabwean President-elect Emmerson Mnangagwa is no longer going to take place because of the Constitutional Court ruling that has given the respondents 3 days to reply. That is, of course, up until Monday.